Hello everybody, this is Cesar, and as commented, I'm going to replace the nut of my 2015 SR, and I'm going to use the permanently lubricated Tusq adjustable nut that apparently is designed specifically for the 2015 models. Again, let me see if it focuses. If it does focus, yes. So I think you can perfectly see the grooves here. This is the so-called nut, this upper part, this is the zero fret, and at the zero fret you can see the grooves. Now, there are a couple of things that I think are going to happen. First, we are going to lose the so-called zero fret, and on top of my mind, this means that probably will not be able to reach such a low action with the new nut. I don't know. Usually what happens is that guitars with zero fret allow you to go really low in action. And the second is that the dimensions of this nut are not exactly the ones that the guitar had, the brass nut has, right? Let me just show you what I mean. So here you can see the two nuts together, and I think that it's evident that our Tusq nut is wider than the brass one, and if you match the two screws on the back, by the way, they match perfectly, okay, I think you see the difference. The guys from Tusq are already warning you that you may be sanding, you may need sanding in order to adapt the nut to the slot. But I guess that in my case it comes from the fact that my guitar is an SR. It's not a, let's say, pure 100% 2015 model. It's an SR, and the SR we're having not such a wide nut than the 2015 model. Was a little bit of a sprint run before they issued the 2016 models. In any case, I think it has an easy fix. I'm going to use a Dremel tool. So what I would do is I am going to first equal this edge with this one, and the second, this rim here, I gotta sand it too, because if not, it will not fit with the slot on the interior, right? So it's not a complicated fix, and with the Dremel tool I think we are gonna go quick. Well, I really love working with the Dremel tool. My advice is get yourself one, and get yourself one with different speeds, you know. There are some Dremel tools over there, or kind of copies of the Dremel tool, that only have a couple of speed options. This has 5, and so you can basically be always in control, and if you don't need such a high speed, you can basically get a steady hand and get the job done. So get yourself a Dremel tool. I've already done one side, and now I'm gonna do the other one, and as you see, I've marked here, let me just focus, I've marked how much needs to be taken off, and this is what I'm gonna do now. So let's see. Okay, so we use a relatively low speed. getting there. And we will fine tune with some sandpaper. You need to have a steady hand in order to not to basically destroy your nut. So just touch here. And we are almost there. Very good. I like it. Let's see how it fits. Okay, so we are almost there. Now what we need to do is to fine tune a little bit with our file the shape, especially on the bottom of the nut, in order to make it fit correctly. And I think we can say we are mostly done. Let's see. So now we need to see how it fits and how it sits in its place. And it sits beautifully, does not move. We're happy because the brass nut was moving somehow. And now what we will need to do is put the strings on, right, and see if we can adjust the action properly to get to the setup that I was having in this guitar that I really loved. Looks like I have oversanded a bit, like less than 1 millimeter, much less probably, a fraction here, but it's gonna be okay. So we're happy. Okay, now if we look to Gibson specs, they say that the action of the first fret should be 0.03 inches, which is 0.76 millimeters at the 6th string, and at the first string is half of it, 0.38 millimeters, 0.015 inches. But if you recall my video of the setup of the SR, because of the 0 fret, I was having the action at the first fret at 0.5 millimeters at the 6th string, and at 0.3 millimeters at the first string, which is considerably lower than the Gibson specs, and it was because of the 0 fret. So we are going to try to get to those specs, my specs, 0.3 millimeters at the first string, 0.5 millimeters at the 6th string. So I have my trusty filler gauges. Again, they are in millimeters because they are from Spain, so you do the conversion, guys. Let's start with our 6th string, which now is really very, very low, so we need to adjust our screw. Take it up, check, still low, take it up, check, we are almost there, just a hair, It works really very well. I was a little bit afraid of the... Now it's perfect. So that would be 0.5 millimeters. That would replicate the action at the first fret I was having with the brass nut. And now, excuse me for the earthquake. And now we are gonna go with our first string with our 0.3 millimeters. It is too tight, so we are going to increase it just a hair. Does not push the string up, but it's still too tight. Now it's okay. And for the purists, I'm doing this not in playing position, but with the guitar resting on the neck cradle, because it is the action at the first fret. So the tension here is practically not going to change in playing position. Now, we will need to see if with our Tusq nut, this action would not produce any sitar or whatever. So let me just try to tune to pitch. So we don't hear any buzzing. I would call it a success. Now we need to check the relief at the neck, etc., to see if we are still okay. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so our capo at the first fret, and if you remember, we were having 0.25 millimeters, and look, we even have a little bit more of relief at the neck, probably 0.30, 0.30, which would be the Gibson specs. We could even tighten a bit our thrash rod, and I think it's because of the temperature and whatever, but we are extremely happy with that. Again, it is a little bit more of relief than we were having. Probably let's try the 0.30 filler gauge. Here it is. Again, I'm measuring this in millimeters, so you do your conversions, guys and girls. And yeah, it is 0.30. Even, yeah, definitely we can tighten a bit our thrash rod. Yeah. Let me check the action, just in case. Now, if we check the action, we are at let's say above 1.5 millimeters, slightly above, and below 1.75. So I would say we are at PRS specs 1.6, 1/16 of an inch. We are very happy with that. We were having 1.5 millimeters in the past, but we are happy with this action, of course. And remember, I told you that looks like the relief at the neck has increased slightly. So if we would tighten a little bit the thrash rod, the action will go lower, but we don't need to do that. It's a very good action. And then at the first string, we are slightly above 1 millimeter. We are in 1.2, which is mostly what we were having in the past, and we don't have any fret buzz. So we are very happy, and you know, as long as we would be playing with this new Tusq nut, the new Tusq nut for Gibson 2015 models, after some adjustments it fits perfectly. So we will be playing, and I would be keeping you up to date if there is something going on with the new nut. I forgot to say that I will keep the original brass nut in the case, or I would basically keep it, because I agree with Nelson from Gudesso's Guitar Mods. I think these 2015 guitars are going to be very valuable collector pieces in the future. Particularly speaking, this is an SR, and the SR were a very limited number of guitars. And well, even if people has been bitching about the guitars on the internet continuously, I really think at least this is an extraordinary guitar. I mean, you have heard it in many videos that I have recorded with it. The action I can get is super low, plays like butter. I love this guitar. I'm totally convinced that these guitars are totally underrated, but you know, it is what it is, and only time will tell. Thank you very much for watching. See you very soon in my next video, and as always, play your guitars, have fun, and be good. Bye.